What will happen after elections, after May elections in Turkey?
I mean, after the elections in Turkey, if President Erdogan is re-elected, he'll continue to pursue the same policy, at least when it comes to Ukraine, to keep one foot in either camp. If the opposition get into power, they have a different foreign policy goal because they want to normalize relations with the West. Under Erdogan, relations with the United States and the EU have become extremely difficult, partially due to democratic backtracking in Turkey, violations of human rights and whatnot, but also because of Turkey's frozen EU accession process, which built up a lot of resentment in Ankara and throughout the population. So if the opposition get in, we'll see a more Western approach, a stronger focus on normalizing with the West, but at the same time continuing to have good relations with Russia, but not to the same degree as the current state of affairs. President Erdogan has allowed, sanctioned good and trade to go via Turkey to Russia. Turkey has actually benefited in terms of getting, cheap energy from Russia. And if you look at the sort of, import-export statistics have significantly improved, which has been very helpful to the Turkish economy, because prior to the war, the Turkish economy was in a very bad state of affairs. It's still in dire straits, but it's improved a bit as a consequence of the war, which is, it doesn't reflect very well that Turkey has played this role, unfortunately, but that will end with the entry into power of the opposition, because they won't play those games.
What are the chances for opposition to enter power?
The chances of the opposition have significantly increased following the tragic earthquake in Turkey on the 6th of February, as I'm sure everybody saw in the news. 11 of Turkish regions were devastated. Over 50,000 people have been killed. Buildings just pancaked. They just collapsed. And this is a consequence of, builders not following the regulations and the government basically allowing them to do so by, just giving them fines and stuff. So it was a massive violation of, rules and regulations regarding construction. And this area where the earthquake happened is a significant base for the President Erdogan and the ruling Justice and Development Party, the AKP. It's a base that he's always been able to rely on to vote for him. So probably now after the earthquake, the voting pattern for that region is likely to change to some extent. I'm not going to say that every single person that was affected by the earthquake won't vote for the AKP or Erdogan, because that's unlikely to happen. But I think there's a great deal, of anger and resentment and even hatred now towards Erdogan, who people hold personally responsible for the tragic loss of life, of their homes. You now have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands displaced people in Turkey. It's not even clear where a lot of these people are going to vote, but that's another issue. But this will definitely be represented in the ballot boxes in favour of the opposition alliance and the opposition presidential candidate Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu. If they are able to make the most of this, as well as run a dynamic campaign, because Erdogan is an extremely good campaigner, he's a political animal. He'll stop at nothing to win this election. Also, it's not a fair playing field, which doesn't help. The media is more or less completely controlled by the ruling party, and social media and whatnot has become very difficult in Turkey. Much of it's been closed down. Probably more will be closed down or sort of, adjusted before the election. So it's going to be an uphill battle. So it's too close to call.